Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are chatting about The Roses, the latest satirical black comedy by Jay Roach. It has an absolutely stellar cast. I mean, Olivia Colman, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andy Samberg, Kate McKinnon, Allison, Janney, literally the cast that keeps on giving. This film is based on the 1891 novel The War of the Roses by Warren Adler. Also, there was a film in 1989 directed by Danny DeVito, starring Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito. So there's a lot of history and lore with this film. This story is about a very fun British couple who, when we first meet them, they are absolutely all over each other. They love each other. Olivia Colman plays Ivy, a chef aspiring to make her restaurant dreams come true, while Benedict Cumberbatch plays Theo, a architect who also is trying to make his dreams come true. They eventually settle in California where Ivy is able to open up her own restaurant and it becomes a massive success, whereas Theo unfortunately has a little bit of a blunder with his business. And this is where the war among these roses ensues. I promised that I would make recommendations for every single film that I review on my channel, so I suppose the easiest one that I can recommend is The War of the Roses. It very similarly has a lot of the same biting dialogue that you find in this film. People do a lot of nasty things when relationships are on the rocks, and Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner are certainly no stranger to that in their film. I think easily among the highlights of this film is the fact that its cast is truly stellar. Olivia Colman is just one of those actresses who can literally do anything, whether it is a very tense drama like The Lost Daughter or The Father, or if it's a comedy like the one seen here. It's just amazing how she can nail literally every single biting line toward her husband. There are many iconic things that she says, some not always very good to say out loud, especially to your partner. So I maybe would not recommend repeating any of these, but it's just so delightfully wicked. If you love this type of comedy that she does in this film, I cannot help but recommend Wicked Little Letters, a film that she did about 2 years ago with her and Jessie Buckley kind of going at it as Jessie keeps receiving these anonymous letters that are so filthy, so dirty, and so raunchy and amazing. Benedict Cumberbatch, also very much a dramatic actor. I mean, The Power of the Dog, for which he was nominated for an Oscar, The Imitation Game. So I actually quite enjoyed seeing him in something lighter. I loved his banter with Kate McKinnon. Again, one of the funniest people alive. She is constantly flirting after him, and it's just really funny to see his, I guess, his emotions toward her, and more often than not trying to push her away. I loved it, and he also had some very interesting words to say to his wife. What makes so much of this dialogue work not only is from the actors themselves, but it's because of Tony McNamara's script. Another film that I highly recommend if you love that sharpness, if you love a couple of C bombs that are dropped here and there, is Poor Things. If you haven't seen that film, it's one Emma Stone at her finest, but just some of the things that she says to Mark Ruffalo's character, for example, are just so funny. She is discovering herself. She literally has a baby's brain in her head. And so plenty of comedy ensues. I will say the further we went along with this film, I felt that the pacing kind of meandered here and there. The trailer itself very much shows that this couple is headed for divorce, but in the film itself, it does not come until, I don't know, like the last half hour of the film itself, 20 minutes or so. So it takes quite a while to get there, although it is a very effective to build up what eventually leads to their breaking point, which is a very tumultuous dinner with friends. There is a literal food fight going on. Again, a lot of wordage that is being thrown around that is not always safe for work. I did enjoy all of that, again, because of this wonderful cast of characters. But I just felt that, I don't know, the pacing kind of just took too much time. It was like, okay, I get it. I know that they are having some problems where is this leading to? I guess maybe another part of me was also very much waiting for Allison Janney to show up, and a little disappointed that she really didn't get any time in this film. It's kind of like one scene and that's it. I will say, when we get toward the end and this couple is truly at odds with each other, we kind of get some crazy events happening in their home. You've seen the clip of her throwing the crabs into the bathtub while Benedict Cumberbatch is taking a bath. You have seen him shaving his wart on his toe into her dish, but there are so many other great gags. The final showdown in the kitchen reminded me of some far more serious films of this relationship on the rocks slash headed for separation. If you have not seen Anatomy of a Fall, that has one of the most iconic yelling kitchen scenes of all time. Also have to shout out the beautiful architecture in this gorgeous home that Benedict Cumberbatch's Theo makes for this couple. Ugh, chef's kiss. Where the film ultimately ends, I did leave a little bit disappointed just because it was so abrupt. Again, I suppose it makes sense within that context, but I don't know. I guess I was just kind of expecting just a something little bit more. Overall, I would give The Roses 3.5 stars out of 5. If in general you are a big fan of rocky relationships and maybe kind of want to see something more serious on top of Anatomy of a Fall, I definitely suggest Marriage Story. I mean, that is one that so many people love and adore. It's a great one from Noah Baumbach with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. When you just take a look at that film as a whole, it's really, really heartbreaking when you consider just all of the emotions that come into play when a couple, especially one that has a child, has to go through. It's a beautiful piece of work. And if you want to go even further back, I recommend Kramer versus Kramer, a very emotional, emotionally charged story starring Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep, both in Oscar winning performances. This one also won Best Picture in 1980. I mean, it is a beloved film. Again, very hard to watch, but beloved, and also two amazing actors. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you here on the next movie.